with. Could be difficult. Let's get into it.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
Well, a little bit of a slow start to the fan chants for Gen.G as well. I wonder whether that was by design. I feel like that would really be, good for sticking up with the Gen.G vibes.
So actually, I was looking at the changes for the crit damage with Yone.
Yeah.
And he's got a little bit more crit damage before IE, and then a bit less after IE. But obviously, IE has more AD on it, so. But it is still, he's still faring a bit better, I would say.
And it's exactly the same change as Yasuo, right? They just literally copy-pasted the text.
Yes.
It's very funny.
Yes.
I liked what they did there.
Yeah.
That was all right, Ghost having fun with a headbutt, which is, that's the most fun you get at level 1, is that one headbutt that you get in lane.
But it is one of the nice things playing this 2v2 with the Ezreal into the Varus, is this is the point where the Ezreal really has the advantage over the Varus. You spam those Qs.
Yep.
So the Alistar. We've seen so many Alistars just get completely bullied out level 1, and for once not getting that case. But I feel like once we sort of get level 2, level 3, that's where Gen.G's bot lane is going to get a lot more momentum, especially because the Rakan can just heal out so many trades.
Yeah, I actually, I do feel like it's probably better for Alistar than it could have been in some other lanes, right? It's like not Karma or Neeko or something like that that can be really, really punishing. But Rakan is frustrating. I always discount the Gleaming Quill heals. I never quite give it the credit it deserves, as Chovy unbinds the soul, has a decent trade into Bdd, who looks to get in front of the minion wave just to put the pressure onto Chovy.
And Kiin's gone Fierce Strike, so he's trying to print as much money as possible in this matchup.
Yeah, Chovy also able to do a fair bit of damage towards Bdd here, but both of the mid laners looking a little worse for wear. And yeah, Chovy pretty good. Yone.
See, the thing is, right, I always think you need context in stats, right?
Got it.
And yes, this win rate's very good for Chovy on Yone. But you know what? Chovy just has a pretty good win rate.
He does have a pretty good win rate. Like what's his Galio win rate again? Is it still 100%? It's not, right? It's a little bit not 100%, but it's very, very close.
But especially when you think about like Gen.G's recent domestic win rate, like...
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of champions.
It's just pure LCK stats are just kind of not okay.
Yeah, they're kind of absurd. So, I mean, I'm not saying this to like dispute. Like, Chovy is very good at Yone. I'm just adding a little bit of context that like, he has a lot of stats like that.
Yeah.
Chovy's just pretty good. And does a lot of winning.
He does. And they might be continuing to do so here today. Just have to find out. Bdd going back very early on in this lane to collect himself a tier. Same thing to be said for Chovy. Has gone for the fleet footwork just to keep himself as healthy as possible in this laning phase.
Oh, nice little ward at the Krugs that will spot out Canyon in a little bit, I think.
Yeah, he's right now.
Yeah.
It's going to be his first camp that is up and available.
Do you see Kiin like completely covered himself defensively? I think Cuzz was looking for a gank angle, but Kiin wants to make sure he can keep pushing and won't get challenged here. So just get the crystalline overgrowth proc. And just trying to farm as much money as possible. And Canyon does notice that he's been spotted, but is spotted nonetheless.
Yeah, does manage to clear out the ward as Kiin, with the Flame Spitter, is just making sure that Perfect has the worst time possible. That is continuing to be the case. As Perfect, as long as he picks up as many minions as he can, it's probably going to be all right. Just wanting to weather the storm as much as he can into this Rumble. The problem with First Strike, though, is that, like, yes, you're going to take a beating in lane, but as you're taking a beating in lane, you're like losing so much money to the opponent. It compounds the feeling of bad.
Yeah, I mean, it does mean the Rumble doesn't have phase rush, so if you get ganked or in some of those skirmishes, you just don't have as much of that mobility. You can often see like the Rumble procs it and then uses that extra mobility to kind of like, just slam with the passive where you punch them with a drill.
Yeah, don't have to worry about the extra comet damage as well.
Yeah, but if you end up in a non-interactive scenario on lane where like the junglers don't come over and you're just farming, it's great. You end up with more gold, and obviously Rumble loves gold.
Ooh, Chovy having to flash. That's a really good start here, as Cuzz getting engaged on by Canyon, though. The flash has to be used by him as well to get himself out of there. So mid lane flash for the jungle flash. And pretty even Stevens as far as that trade is concerned.
Yeah, I think it was a bit unfortunate for Chovy because he literally hit a minion just after that and hit level 6. So if he'd had his 6 before that play, would have been able to use his ult to get away from it. Obviously a much shorter cooldown, but does put a lot of pressure on Bdd there, and will force him to recall. But I think that's the state of the game at the moment. It's like recalls are just kind of whatever because the home guard power is so high. Now, I do like that Perfect's gone for a bit of a proxy here. The more you can avoid actually interacting and trading with Kiin, the better. Don't let him use his first strike, so he's
he's doing it again.
Yeah,
we are clearing out every single wave. We'll be able to go for a bit of a reset here, and like you say, with the home guard, means that he will not miss anything. We'll have some time to do a little jig while he makes his way back to lane at the same time. And so the K'Sante also avoiding just taking too much damage from the Rumble, and the first strike is a really cool move. Like that one a lot. Chovy back to lane here, up against Bdd. Throws out the ulti actually and collects Bdd already, but Cuzz is in position. And so just going to be softening up the Taliyah as she comes back from base.
Yep, saw an angle where you could just land it, connect it, and gets a heavy trade in. Doesn't mean he's down with that, but that's the thing, right? You use it, and then it's working that cooldown back, so...
Yeah. And Bdd going to eat some honey fruit, and he'll be absolutely fine. Not really too much to write home about, as we're seeing slight lane advantage here towards the bottom side and the top side. Mid lane very, very even. In the jungle, pretty similar story. As we get out of lane, and as 2-item spikes are being hit, things like that, I think Aiming is going to be feeling a little bit better. We know that he's very confident on his Ezreal.
I wonder what boots Bdd is going to go, because we've seen the Ionians be really common on the Taliyah for the movement speed, so it's probably those, but...
Steel caps feel pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to say that the steel caps value is really high here for that extra durability. For those who don't know, they buffed the boots between like before when you got them for the feats of strength. Now it's 10% max health in the shield instead of 4%, so the value is actually pretty insane. When there's triple AD between like the Yone, the Xin Zhao, and the Varus, I mean, movement speed is pretty good, so we'll see where he ends up going. Obviously the Berserker Greaves for Chovy feel kind of mandatory. Yeah. And obviously the lifesteal definitely a nice stat.
Yeah, that one's definitely coming through as Bdd doesn't quite find the big boulder. As flash in from Ruler just looks to try and kill Bdd. All right, well, that's one way.
Yeah, was a ward there that spotted him out. Would have been crazy if he just reacted to the R flash from Ruler coming out of the rush, but did have the ward, did have the vision, so able to deny it. But Ruler does end up burning the flash, but it's a trade.
Yeah. Aiming now with a little bit of spare time for himself, as he does get a bit of added damage towards Duro. But Ruler will be able to make his way back towards this lane pretty comfortably. Even delivers a nice little piercing arrow. So no harm, no foul, but will not have the flash for lane. That does mean that Ghost and Aiming is going to be feeling a little bit better.
Ghost and Aiming are doing pretty good in this lane. Like, I feel like there's a lot of scenarios where you can just get poked out by the Varus. Okay, I say that.
Yeah.
They are starting to get poked out a little bit.
That is the scenario you were talking about.
A lot easier to get hit by the piercing arrows, and also you land poke back, and there's the Gleaming Quill value from the Rakan. But so far they've been keeping relatively even in the lane, so not doing too bad. But I feel like that's the thing with Ezreal. You obviously want to be like poking down your opponents, landing those skill shots, but I think Lethality Varus just does it a little better in the laning phase.
Well, Cousin Bdd coming on over to grab themselves some grubs. They'll at least be able to get the first one. It looks like they are going to collect all of them pretty comfortably. It was in trade for the Dragon. It did go over to Gen.G earlier. They do have a mountain to their name. Next one going to be an ocean. We'll have a look at what the soul is going to be. What are we feeling? I think it's probably Chemtech Soul time.
Oh man, no.
That's what I think. I mean, Orcs is here. He was paying very close attention in our first series, but you know, Matt, now we've had a bit of time off. You ate delicious homemade hummus earlier, and so you're probably just feeling a little bit more confident, comfortable, and not exactly paying attention. So it's probably going to be a Chemtech Soul. That's what I'm thinking.
It's solid logic. It's hard to argue with, but I really hope it isn't.
Yeah, me too. Chovy's going to get flung back here momentarily. Bdd on the Taliyah. This is one of his most iconic picks. And Taliyah herself has not really been finding very much success here in the LCK so far. I don't think it's exactly her fault, but did start off with 2 losses very early on in the LCK Cup. That's all right. Ghost and Duro, Portal Combat.
I think there was that game that...
Do you notice as well, Ghost is playing Beryl's skin? All right, Chovy looking for the combo here as Cuzz going to turn up, but that is a great quickness. Bdd still alive somehow, holding on for so long. Finally, Chovy gets over there and finds an auto attack, and down will go Bdd for first blood. As under the turret they go, but Ghost is going to be able to walk his way out. Man, that was almost comical with the fact that Bdd survived for so long, but was basically a dead man walking.
I think the value Duro got there was just absolutely massive on the Rakan. Able to get the sweep them up, and I think, honestly, KT not losing more there could be okay with it, but obviously not how they want the skirmish to go. Quickness comes in, Ghost knocks him up, but then sweeps up 2, gets a double knock-up. Disruption comes in, Ghost and Cuzz peeling to try and keep Bdd alive, but he's so low, there's just no way to do it. And they kind of realize they have to disengage.
Yeah.
Nimbus Cloak keeps Ghost safe.
Canyon's also got a massive amount of value in that fight at the same time. And so, very nicely done, but only 1 kill. Still a 2,000 gold lead as a result. It's kind of nutty.
I think
they were able to collect a bunch of other stuff as well.
We've gotten the kill there. Ruler started to bully aiming at a lane and got a couple of plates. Top lane, Kiin's just been playing the money printer game. So
yeah.
That's where the gold leads come from.
Bdd just built a wall, and now you've got Gen.G taking a fair bit of damage. True Shot Barrage does go wide. KT will gain control of this dragon area. That is up and available. We'll see whether they can actually continue to take control, as now Chovy closes in on Bdd. Has to get out of the way of the seismic shove, but still wins a trade pretty comfortably. And Gen.G, I feel like they're sort of just naturally finding advantages over and over again. This is very similar to the domestic Gen.G that we saw in 2025. And that Gen.G did not lose. And now they'll just take Dragon as well.
Yeah. And Bdd already low, especially when you're against... Oh, TP's coming in.
Yeah, a lot of teleports from coming all over the place. As there's a seismic shove, does collect a couple of them, as now Duro getting thrown to the side, but cease and desist is not going to do much of anything at all, and Ghost is just going to die. It is 2 into the blender, and Gen.G now 3 on the board, and a 4,000 gold lead with 2 Drakes to their name, and man, oh, Cloud Soul, chef's kiss. You love to see it.
I was locked in. I was focused, but I just feel like Gen.G so much more coordinated, and KT a little bit split with the fight. Cuzz taken down before he could even ult, and Ghost didn't really get any help out there. Feels like this is textbook Gen.G from what we saw last year. Oh, Bdd.
Yeah, Chovy underneath the turret, and not going to be too worried about it. Snaps back, takes a stun with him, but doesn't really matter too much at all.
So you see, everyone's quite split. Like, Ezreal is miles away when this fight starts. Duro preps the ult, immediately CCs Cuzz. Cuzz gets exploded. Bd's trying to help over the wall, but like, Aiming is only just there now. Perfect and Cuzz were trying to help, but like, the fight's over before... I just feel like KT didn't really offer any real resistance.
Yeah.
And Gen.G were immediately a 5-man unit. And Duro starting the fight off with that immediate pick. His Rakan has already been getting so much value.
Yeah, Duro looking like a bit of a POM frontrunner at the moment. But still very early days. And Ruler now parking himself in this mid lane against Bdd for the moment, but I believe we will have Aiming probably moving over there as Ghost spotted on this ward, looking to Hex Splash his way out. We'll be able to do so. As, yeah, a few things missing, but that's okay. Aiming now has the Trinity Force completed as well. And unfortunately, Bdd decided not to go for the Steel Caps. It is the Boots of Lucidity once again.
Yeah, and both AD carries are spotted. This has been the common thing now, are going triple tonic and cashback.
Oh. Cease and desist onto Ruler. They will be able to catch him out. And there is Aiming collecting himself a bit more money.
That's a nice pickup. As I was saying, so triple tonic, pretty strong. You know, you get the three potions that give you the value. The first one gives gold, second one gives temporary adaptive force, third one gives a skill point. But the cashback, the reason we're seeing this a lot on AD carries is because obviously you get gold back every time you buy an item. And with the new AD carry quest, there's not much to say about this, you could do anything.
Yeah.
With the new AD carry quest, you're getting more items than ever. So
true.
It's 8% cashback on each item, and it means that when you have a big purchase like a Triforce, you're immediately getting that extra gold back for a little bit of extra value. So
and getting towards 2 items,
and then some.
Yeah, getting towards 2 items feels incredibly good, especially for an Ezreal.
Yeah,
I can understand it. Seraph's is now done here for Bdd, but it doesn't feel the greatest. Helping be a bit more durable is, yeah, Kiin gonna get Volt broken. And perfect diving in, but the flash immediate. And Kiin should be able to get himself to relative safety. Now Chovy with some spare time towards his top side. I don't know whether Ghost is going to be enough to deter
trying his best.
This Yone, yeah.
Yeah, Cuzz didn't have ult there on the bot side, so kind of touch and go with a Kiin. 100% needed ult, but I think he was just scared of K'Sante getting in range, so I think maybe did have to. But either way, able to shake off the gank. But it's Gen.G picking up that Herald and keeping up the pressure on the top side. I think as well, Chovy with Blade of the Rune King and the Gunmetal Greaves, the upgraded Berserker Greaves, has so much lifesteal already on this unit. It's really hard to actually like go up against him in a side lane because like Bdd doesn't have that much damage. Like he has the Seraphs.
Yeah,
he's not. It's gonna take a while to chunk through him. Actually, Bdd hasn't completed his quest yet. Has just completed it.
As you said it, was able to upgrade those shoes, but it certainly did feel like it took him a very long time.
I will say mid-quest compared to other quests, it's not that big of a deal if you're late. Like 80 carry and top, the later you are, like you're losing value.
Yeah, they're sort of like scaling quests.
Yeah, jungle as well is another one. And even support, because like you get the cheaper control wards, and we know LCK supports buy 1 million control wards.
Exactly.
But mid is the one where like it's, other than the actual item strength, it's not that big of a deal. Whereas 80 carry, jungle, and top, you're losing either gold or experience, or in jungle's case, both. But he does have those upgraded Ionians for the extra movement speed. We did talk about that earlier. Is going for the movement speed rather than the defensive value.
Well, Chovy going to be able to finish this one off by the looks of things, and yeah, Bdd not going to be able to deter him from that one.
But it's so hard, like he does, what, like 30% of his health? And he is recalling, but even if he didn't, he would just heal up off the next wave so easily.
Yeah. All right, Ghost, now in position to maybe be in a bit of trouble. Decides to go forward, is now perfect, looks for the all-out angle. Let's see who's going to pick up, as everyone's getting knocked up all over the place. The Unbreakable Will from Ghost getting a lot of value, but there's the Equalizer. Speaking of value, as the Barbecue walks his way in, and Kiin looks to try and burn them down. The Cow is going to be okay though for now. Duro going down very low himself, as now Canyon looking to try and get in there, but it's perfect. That's his target, and he's extraordinarily durable. Chovy not able to find too much of a target, but it's sole point on the table, and Gen.G, I think, are just able to take it.
Yeah, it was such a scrappy engage from KT, but they just weren't quite able to find Ruler. I feel like that was their target. Weren't able to connect onto him, and as a result, Gen.G's able to push forwards and take the dragon. And now looking for mid-tier 1.
Yeah, Rift Herald going to be utilized as well as Chovy comes in. There's the ulti sidestepped really nicely, and there's the combo. Chovy punished, and the turret is going to finish him off. Aiming collects that kill, cease and desist now onto Duro, as in the meantime in the bot lane, Perfect in trouble. He'll be taken down, but Duro dies as well. So cross-map, it is a 2-for-1.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get anything more, if they can get the turret in return, but I think it's still a bit healthy. I guess Ruler can't walk up, but he can't clear the wave from distance. No, I think he's zoned off too far, goes to the Hex Splash. I think they should just get this.
Yep, Crystalline Overgrowth also helping them out there, so that is going to be that extra plate, and with the cannon, they should be able to do this. They also have 3 grubs, so this turret not long for the world. So that is that one taken down, but I believe the outer also fell in the bottom lane, as immediately, you can see there.
And the mid one is super low. On the other side, KT's mid-tier 1 is really low, so that would go down quickly. But this was just a bit of an overstep. So this initial play, Duro pops the ult and like interrupts the combo from Ghost.
Pulverize.
Yeah, so that was great peel from Duro, great disruption. And considering Ruler didn't have flash, the fact he gets back to the tower is insane. That whole passage of play fails because of that. And Cuzz had ult still. He knew the intent was to kill Ruler, ult Ruler, take him out. And I think Duro did a phenomenal job of disrupting there. But then they burnt all those cooldowns, had to back away, and then it just kind of turned into this sporadic play where Kiin and Canyon punished perfect, and then Chovy just overstepped. I think as soon as you saw Ghost there and the seismic shove, you could have just pressed E and snapped back, but he felt himself a little bit too much.
Yeah, he was a bit sleepy, wanted to stay in the dreamland, didn't want to snap back to reality just yet. Understandable, but was to his death. Unfortunately, still doing just fine. 1.8k about ahead of Bdd in this game, and Gen.G holding on to their advantage with now a sole point alongside it. But cease and desist comes down onto Canyon. Equalizer in once again, and Cuzz has to deal with that one. Gets the big old shield though, and down goes Canyon with no response from Gen.G. That's beautifully done, but there is no Drake on the table. It's probably a decent time for Canyon to die, to be perfectly honest with you, especially with Chovy getting such work done here towards the top side. Yeah, not really able to translate it into any objectives, but I do like that KT's answering back. When we think about how the gold lead was so significant early for Gen.G,
it's smaller than it was way earlier in the game. They're keeping it within an arm's length, and it means one big team fight could be it for KT to get this back. And when you look at the fact that Aiming is 4-0, approaching that big spike for the Ezreal with the Muramana and the Triforce, Muramana nearly stacked and has a significant goal lead over Ruler right now. And here, it looks like Cuzz is so close to going down with the burn from the Equalizer, but gets that Q off to the side, and the shield comes in from Perfect, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, so...
Like, trying to figure it out, I'm like, that's not what a Vi shield looks like.
Pretty clutch there to keep him alive through the burns. And again, you know, that kill doesn't translate into much, but it's a bit of gold here, bit of gold there. Just keeping the game close enough. It's Dragon in a minute 40 and there's Souls. That's a delicate point. I think the movement speed, especially with a lot of these champions on the side of Gen.G, can be really frustrating to deal with. Rakan in particular is one we often talk about.
Yeah. And Chovy really wanted that plate. Is not going to be able to find it just yet. Bdd also doing the same thing here towards the top side of the map. And that is going to provide even more respite here for KT.
Yeah.
Clawing their way back.
Chovy's a menace in the side lane, and the problem is Perfect has cloth armor and no other armor at all. Against a Blade of the Rune King, I
feel like I understand it, right? Because he wants to not die to Kiin. But Kiin is the only one that's doing magic damage. And I guess Yone does do mixed damage, blah, blah, blah. But I still feel like you want to, like, maybe you could have the Rook Urn, but maybe all of the other items need to, like, not be magic resist.
Yeah, I think, like, Merc Treads makes sense for the tenacity, but, like, I feel like you needed a prior armor after that. You know? Especially if you're now being sent against the Yone. Like, a Blade of the Rune King, if you're all health and MR, it does not feel good. So.
No.
30 seconds, though, on this Dragon. You see TP coming in from Kiin. That will give him that big shield. He's not quite level 16, though. If you can get some extra experience on this wave and hit level 16 before he ults, that would be big.
Yeah, Chovy has unbound the soul. Is just getting as much information as he can find. Cuzz goes over that wall, grouping up with the rest of the team now. A teleport in.
Oh, look how close
from
Kiin
Perfect.
Is to 16.
Yeah, Ghost possibly tagged here. My goodness, that poke is kind of ridiculous. As KT get control of the wave, as the Dragon has been started off here by Gen.G. It's very healthy, though. They are more healthy than they were in the past. As Ghost still has the Unbreakable Will, but he might need to use it a little bit earlier than he'd otherwise want to, as the Dragon continuing to get taken down. As Bdd looking for an angle, doesn't find the flick back, as the wall is now going to dissipate. As Duro wants to get in there. The Equalizer goes down. Not a lot of joy with that one, as there is Ghost being cleansed quite nicely. As, oh, they're into the blender. Chovy gets into the backline, and Ruler takes down the cow. But look at these health bars. Gen.G somehow keep themselves alive, as the carries from KT, they just couldn't finish anyone off. Bdd's taken out, and there is Kiin with the burn. It is somehow a clean ace for Gen.G and Cloud Soul.
Gen.G team fighting at its best. 5-0 there. And I think a big thing for me was Kiin on the flank, just threatening the backline constantly. So we obviously have the blender that happens towards the Dragon, but he equalizes here, goes up to Aiming, chunks him on the top side. Like, look how low Aiming gets, and him and Bdd are, like, so concerned about Kiin. And then this blender happens, the engage comes in again, Kiin threatening the backline. So when this mixed fight happens, Bdd and Aiming just weren't able to participate because this Rumble was just running them down the whole time. Kiin getting so much value in that fight.
Kiin just kind of massive in this game. I was going to talk about it earlier on, didn't have an opportunity to, but he just sort of slowly but surely got himself to like 3 items. 3-0-3 right now on the Rumble.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he went cashback as well, so he's just printing money to like an absurd degree. And the thing is, he's so leveled as well because he's a top laner, so...
They're just like, Gen.G's just playing Accountants League of Legends right now.
Literally just... You know, the thing is, we always talk about how Gen.G just kind of like made gold appear from nowhere. They're literally just... They're just cooking the books, right? At this point. They are just...
I think they've got tariffs out or something like that, making sure they get all that money back or something. That's all right. Okay. Let's see what they can use this Baron for already. A 1,500 Rebel Baron power play on the table.
We need to put Gen.G in charge of the economy because they figured it out.
Yeah, things are looking a little rough here in Korea, so we can maybe get a little bit of help. All right. There is going to be a little flick back onto Canyon, though. Grand entrance not quite connecting onto Bdd. Chovy now with an Infinity Edge, though. Ox, I am just worried.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. That is a scary amount of damage. And also the poke from Ruler, a lot of threat of the hips. I mean, I say the poke from Ruler, also the harpoons from Kiin. We saw what happened to Ghost earlier. The attrition that's coming in. I feel like KT at some point just have to engage, but like onto who? Ruler has the spell shield as well. Oh, that's Chovy.
Yeah, going for the block there. Cuzz, good position, and he's just going to be thrown into... Yeah, thrown around like a ragdoll.
That's a good target.
Yeah.
And now looking to maybe engage on the top side. Look at Cuzz and Bdd on the flank.
Yep, getting over there. There is a control ward in position, but the rest of KT, they have a man advantage. Let's see whether they can make something happen. Chains of Corruption does not land. Canyon might be the sacrificial Xin Zhao as he's taken down low already. Perfect, just trying to hold them at bay as the rest of KT are closing in. Equalizer is great, though. Let's see whether Gen.G can turn it around already. Aiming is taken out, but Canyon has to sacrifice himself for it. Perfect, keeping himself alive as Kiin goes golden. And he's got the flame spitter out. Cuzz is still so dangerous, though, as Kiin flashes on top of Bdd. And this Rumble is just too strong, even in a 4 versus 5. Gen.G are too good.
Kiin just runs them down. He did to Aiming as well. He got CC'd and he just ran at him and just cooked him. Every fight is just impossible for KT's carries because they're just getting toasted by Kiin.
Maybe there's a reason why we've been seeing Rumble banned almost every single game so far.
You know, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And this was a good pick. I actually think like the right idea here. I was like, the game's looking difficult. You need a pick. You need an engage. They find Chovy. This is the correct moves from KT. You can't fault them for what they're doing here. And then they're trying to navigate this next point.
민규야 그 상태도 노플.
Yeah.
다 노플.
Coach Voice did come through here as well to give as much information over to Gen.G as possible. And here is the replay.
So watch Aiming. Aiming gets engaged onto here. And then I'm pretty sure Kiin,
far away
Kiin
from the fight as well.
I'm pretty sure Kiin just charges into him and just melts him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Canyon dives on top of him. He gets knocked up by the 3 Talon strike, and then Kiin just puts him in the barbecue.
My favorite thing is it's like a horror film. BDD's like, I'm so far away. And it's just like,
no, you're not.
You're not enough. Oh, man.
Not far enough.
Especially with the Cloud Soul as well. He's so fast.
Oh, it's kind of absurd. Okay, Kiin 5-0, 5 right now on the Rumble. Yeah, this guy is kind of ridiculous. He's got a Magize. He's got a Magize Ox.
He's cooking.
He is certainly cooking. Chovy going to be able to take down this inner turret as well, and all of a sudden, it's an 11,000 gold lead.
You know, I think as well the fact it's a Cloud Soul. You know, you often have the phase rush on the Rumble, and that movement's be really valuable. But the fact you have the Cloud Soul now, it just means he's zooming
like
the
infinitely.
The 10-stack Medjais as well for the extra movement speed. So, you know, even when you have like Aiming with the Arcane Shift, like the Arcane Shift, and Kiin just closes the gap still. He just runs him down with a Scrap Shield, movement speed too.
You need to Arcane Shift to somewhere where he can't just right-click you.
The fountain, maybe?
Yeah, over a wall would be good.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the only way to relative safety. And even then, you need to get the hell away from that wall as well, because he might just harpoon you to death. So it's just a little bit rough. Right now, Gen.G, full control.
Elder 45. You know...
Oh, there we go.
Maybe just flip the Elder.
Yeah.
I think Gen.G should not flip the Elder.
Well, they might, as Duro possibly in an awkward position here as the equalizer goes down. Perfect is very, very dead. And Duro with the quickness is just hunting down members of KT. Aiming gets charmed up. The Ghost has to flash to get himself out of the way, and I don't know whether that's going to be enough to keep him alive. And it is not, as Ruler picks up the double. There's Chains of Corruption as well to lock down 3 for Gen.G, and Bdd's getting the heck out of dodge.
That was a great call, Bdd.
Yes.
You know, keep going to the base. Yeah, great call from Gen.G. Don't flip the Elder. Just kill them. It's that simple.
It's a good way to do it. They could go back to the Elder now, or they could kill the Nexus. It's either of those choices that they have available to them. Yeah, smorgasbord of options. Not so many on the side of KT.
Yeah, I think playing it safe. The timers are a little short, and there's a lot of wave clear in the Taliyah, and they don't have Barons, so they're just going to go there. But here, Duro comes in with the quickness, goes to the teammate, W's in, gets 2, and then flashes to follow Aiming. There's not the immediate follow-up onto him, but then Ruler ends up, I think, predicting... Oh.
All right, got a little bit of an engagement here as Bdd took most of his health bar in damage. The Elder, though, in the meantime, is just going down lower and lower. Trisha Brush! So close, but no cigar. Perfect is going to get eaten by a gigantic dragon from the sky. No, never mind, he's just going to get cooked
Run, Cuzz, run!
by Kiin, as Cuzz,
No,
Also
Ghost,
just getting
leave!
chipped down. Ghost, no, he's like, no! My teammates will not die before me! And that may be the case, as, never mind, oh, Cuzz, burning, still trying to go for it here. Has nice double pulverize, bit of a zoning.
Oh my god, the damage.
Seismic shove is, yeah, that's just kind of ridiculous, as Canyon's going to be able to help take down Ghost there. Perfect. Still dead for a while as well as KT. They are circling the drain well and truly. I hope the comms are all about what they're going to do in game number 2 and probably being pretty happy that there is going to be no rumble in that game.
Yeah.
Because in this game, Kiin kind of took over and there was nothing that they could do.
Yeah, the money printer rumble goes hard.
It certainly does. As there's the knock-up onto Cuzz. Oh, the dragon almost got mad at him, but he's on the fountain, so that's going to help him stay alive. It may not be the same for the Nexus, though, as they have some respawning members, and Equalizer goes down as, oh my goodness, Gen.G just trying to pad the stats here a little bit as, oh my god, the Hungry Dragon is able to take down Cuzz. A double kill here for Ruler as he's sniping them on the fountain, bobbing for apples here at the end of the game. Just kill the Nexus, guys, come on. As Ruler is going to go down, and that is going to spell the end of the game. Gen.G 1-0 over Kiin.